Okay, so now I'm gonna turn this over back to Kayna, and she's gonna discuss a little more about how you can continue to get support from us.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That was all really, really helpful and so powerful to hear it laid out that way. So one of the challenges with pelvic pain treatment is that pelvic pain, dyspareunia, vaginismus, vulvodynia, vestibulodynia, endometriosis, adenomyosis, all of these things, right? There's like Sarah was saying, there's luckily been a boom in the research lately, which is great. But it's still not very well studied. And so it does take, so it's like not in the medical health like standard curriculum yet. And I know this because I have some patients who are in medical school, and they're talking, they will tell me that in their gynecological studies, it's just like briefly grazed over. So it's not even updated in text yet. All we have are kind of the up and coming research. And so because of that, it takes, for somebody to be a specialist in pelvic pain treatment or penetrative treatment, it takes a lot of extra steps and extra training to seek out the specialist. So I see and work with a lot of specialists who are gynecologists, who are surgeons, who have specifically specialized in working with these conditions. And so they're the ones that are on the front path of research and treatment. And so they're the ones who are like trying things out, and they get exposed to hundreds of clients, if not thousands, in a month. And so then they relay that information to me, and because they're so busy, they're not providing a lot of information back. So it's just kind of like this word of mouth that gets trickled down to other healthcare practitioners, such as other like PTs, and having meetings with these specialists. So I make a point of really putting an effort into meeting with a lot of these specialists who are on the front lines in order to find out what they think about how to do the best pelvic pain treatment, plus combining it with my own understanding of the nervous system, the mind, the psychology, and mindset. And so this is a really important thing to consider when seeking out a specialist and seeking out somebody who can provide treatment for you. If we'll go to the next slide, por favor. Excellent. So one way that you can find specialists who, or at least somebody who is like aware of what you're going through, is to, if you Google in your area and find gynecologists or pelvic floor physical therapists who have any of these things listed on their website. Or if you call them and you have a consultation, you can ask them about if they know about these things. So it's all listed there for you: vulvodynia, vaginismus, vestibulodynia, endo. I won't read them all, but you can see them there. Those are the ones that I tend to look for when I'm trying to collaborate with another gynecologist. I'll take a look at their website, or I'll even ask them what kind of exposure or information do they have on these topics, because then I know at least they're somewhat aware. Some other resources you can check out is the National Vulvodynia Association, and that's nva.org. And then also the International Pelvic Pain Society, which they're at pelvicpain.org. These are the two like leading places where you can gather really great information. So they have a collection of all these healthcare practitioners that might be in your area or might be close to you. And then some of them even do online or Skype sessions or video consultations. I know I do, to reach out to people who are not in Los Angeles. So you might even look into ways that you could connect with them through a video or a call. And then finally, the other way to get support is to reach out to groups like on Psychology Today or Meetup. You might even like look for something like Meetup options with like women's health issues. And then of course, Facebook, which is where I think a lot of you maybe saw this, is that there are a lot of great groups on Facebook to reach out, get support, ask about resources, ask about treatment, and just kind of like have a community. Because if you're doing this alone, it can feel really difficult to push yourself through, and your partner if you have a partner, may or may not know exactly how to support you, and girlfriends or other friends or family who don't necessarily know what it's like, or maybe they don't have the same kind of parts as you, they can empathize to an extent and have compassion for your struggle, but it's hard to really truly understand what it's like to have this kind of pain, which is one of the main things that a lot of clients have expressed to me, that they're really grateful to work with somebody who has been through the pain and has been out on the other side, because going to a therapist or other healthcare practitioner that doesn't fully understand the depth of the misery that it can cause just makes it feel a little bit less isolating. So I want to give you a little example of how and why we suggest finding specialists, because this is how we have worked with our clients, and how our clients have benefited, and why focusing on sex therapy, health and mindset coaching, or online resources can be really helpful. So with sex therapy specifically, a lot of people don't realize or think about the fact that when their body's in this chronic pain, the sexual system is completely shut down. So like I explained, the system kind of goes into a state of trauma, and the sexual system is a luxury system. So when we're in trauma, we're only focusing on what is survival based, and nothing that is luxury, like eating food or having sex, is something that the system operates on. It just totally shuts it down. So if you're in a state of chronic pain, it's going to make sense that your system's going to shut down the sexual system. Plus, how sexy does it feel to have chronic pain? If your body has been under attack, sex is going to be really unappealing and scary, and that can conflict sometimes with pain treatment, because you have a system that's kind of interlinked. The pain that you're going through and the way you feel about sexuality and sex, they're so interconnected that sometimes it's really hard to pull them apart. So if you're just working with somebody who just has chronic pain treatment and doesn't bring in the sexual aspect, or doesn't help link the sexual aspect, and how to integrate the pain treatment and the sexuality and the intimacy and the romance with your partner, it makes the treatment a little bit longer, because then once you've worked on the pain, then you have to learn a whole new way to work on the sexual system. So that's what our clients have found to be really helpful, to be working with somebody who has the sex therapy awareness. And general therapists can be great to help reduce anxiety, reduce depression, manage the chronic pain, but they're not given the training or very deep training on sex therapy practices. So that's just one way that we've found that it's been really beneficial to work with a sex therapist or a specialist who has both the pain and the sex therapy treatment, or the sex therapy aspect. And then as far as doing health and mindset coaching, the most effective form of treatment shown by research, the main research that's been done for the longest period of time, I think the golden standard was maybe about 15 years ago. The golden standard of treatment has been suggested to be a multidisciplinary approach, which means bringing in different areas and focusing on different areas of treatment. That there's biological, physical, meaning the muscle structure. Biological is more of the tissue and the nerves, and then the psychological, the mindset, working on relationship issues in conjunction with it. As long as it's not overwhelming, because like Zara said, sometimes it can be too much to have 3, 4, 5 practitioners on board. That maybe the best choice for you and your pain treatment is to scale it down to 1, or maybe 2, as long as they're complementary and not having you have to do so many things. So not only that, but it's important to work on the mindset part. Multidisciplinary approach is not only about the kinds of practitioners, but also the whole body, the whole person. So we're wanting to focus on how you view your pain treatment, much of what Zara was sharing, how you view your treatment, how you view your progress, working on the ways in which you believe you can do this, and understanding what healing journey looks like, that it's not this linear path. So addressing those kinds of things have been really helpful for our clients, because we have been there, and we know that there gets points where it's just so hard to be in your own head, and that you just kind of need a little bit of support to to not be in your head so much and to have different thoughts that are going to actually help you get out of the pain. Because when we think about something, it causes this chain reaction of energy in our bodies that ends up either like helping to alleviate pain or make the pain worse. And that's like a really simplified version of what we get into, but just for today's purposes, I just kind of want to graze on that a bit. And then other ways that our clients have benefited is using this online course that I created, where it's this 12-week system that has all of the information I've been telling my clients for the past 13 years. I found myself repeating the same things over and over again, the things that have been researched and well documented for pain treatment, for sex therapy help, and then just anecdotally, the things that I've found to be the most effective for my clients and for myself. All of that stuff that I kept repeating, I recorded and I put into an online course. And so this way, clients have access to this content without having to spend a bunch of time and money, because it can get costly with all these specialized healthcare practitioners. A lot of us don't take insurance because insurance just doesn't pay for enough of the treatment or enough of the work and effort that's put in, and because our overhead is really high to become specialists. And so because that can be a barrier for a lot of people, this has been found to be a way that a lot of people can actually access this information from a specialized healthcare expert on it in a way that's very, very affordable. And so having this gives you has given our clients a very specific guide on how to do that. And I think that that's one of the most effective ways of treatment, is to just be able to have a guide. And so if you're on this path trying to figure out how to do your own treatment and how to utilize the resources that are available to you, like at nva.org or pelvicpain.org or finding a specialist, no matter what you do, we found that our clients really feel a lot more helped and supported and motivated when they have like a very specific guide. So that might be something to consider, is to map out a roadmap for yourself, map out a guide, and guide and information is out there on how to do the best kind of healing treatment for chronic pain. This course is just a little bit more specific to pelvic pain, but like the information is out there, and I bring this up just because I think it's really important to have some sort of like step-by-step process that you need to have. And so that would be another thing to consider in your treatment plan, to really map something out. And like Sarah had mentioned, give yourself really definable goals, and that way you can see the progress that you make, and make them not so huge, lofty goals, like make them small little goals and then celebrate every win. So that's kind of how we've understood this treatment process to work. And I really hope that this was helpful for you. Like I mentioned I'm not sure where you all saw it, but this webinar was a way for Zara and I to kind of bring some information to the community that's been so important to us. And then as a way for us to see like how we can work together and overcome technical difficulties. So, we appreciate you showing up. We appreciate you being around. And if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us on Facebook. I mean, at least for me, I don't know how you're feeling, but you had mentioned that you're okay, Zara, with people emailing you. But you can reach out through my website, which is intuitivesensuality.com. We're the Intuitive Sensuality team trying to help individuals and couples move from pelvic pain to powerful pleasure. And again, just thank you so much. If you have any other questions, reach out through the emails or through Facebook Messenger. Thanks so much.